I want to read from Mark 11:22 and 23. It's a powerful teaching. Jesus says this, have faith in God. I tell you the truth. If anyone says to this mountain, go, throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will happen, it will be done for him. You know, Jesus gave this teaching a day after he had rebuked a fig tree. We find that in verse 14. He rebuked a fig tree, and the next day the disciples saw that it was withered. And so Jesus is saying, don't look to me as if I'm the only one that can do this. You can do it too. So do you realize he's telling you in John 14:12, the works I do shall you do also. I know some of you have been taught that as Christians, miracles are passed away. That's just not true. Miracles are still available and is available to you who have faith in God. I think the first lesson Jesus gives us is have faith in God. What does that mean? Don't limit what can happen in your life based on human limitations. With God, all things are possible. Trust in the miracle working power of God. God can heal an incurable disease. He can forgive the most wretched sinner. He can bring restoration and love in the most loveless marriage. He can bring children back who are atheists. Listen, there is nothing too difficult for God to do. So the first lesson is we have to recognize that everything is possible with God, but everything has to be possible with us if we believe. So he's telling us, have faith, because if you have faith, God can work through you. The second thing Jesus tells us is you have to speak to the mountain. God's not going to speak to the mountain for you. You have your part to play in bringing that miracle. You have to say to that mountain, whatever that mountain may be. It might be sickness. You might have to say to that sickness, you get out of my body. You might have to say to the lack of money come. You might have to say that our marriage is going to be restored. My children are coming back to Christ, even though you don't see it. And that's what faith is. Faith is speaking to the problem, not speaking about how big the problem is. Quit talking about how big the problem is. Oh, I can't get well. Doctor said there's nothing they can do for me. You know, my marriage is loveless. There's no way we're gonna survive. No. You're talking about how big the mountain is. Jesus is telling us to talk about how big God is by speaking to the mountain. Tell that mountain to go. That's what faith is. Faith is believing that things are going to go in your favor, that God's favor and grace is coming in your life. But it is up to you, friend. You have to speak to the mountain, and when you do, that mountain will leave.